The summer before my senior year, I had a revolutionary moment in my life, pivotal moment, monumental moment, where I said, wait a minute, I want more out of life than this. I'm headed in the wrong direction. People don't like me. I'm always in trouble. Teachers are always coming down on me. I'm not achieving what I want to achieve. I'm smarter than my grade point shows. What's the problem here? So I had this day in my life where I completely changed it around. I went from going this direction to going this direction. Age 17, summer of 1983. Now I want to jump forward to current times, because I want to tell you a contrast between my early life and my current life. I graduated from college with a degree in youth and family work because I wanted to help other kids who were like me. I went and I worked with kids for about 3 years till I realized, whoa, these kids are trouble sometimes, right? No wonder these people didn't like me. So I moved on, and I was doing some different work. I've been speaking now since 1988. I've been married for 17 years. This December 31st will be my 17th anniversary. All to the same woman, by the way. Just clarify that. I have 4 wonderful children. I have a 15-year-old boy, a 14-year-old girl, an 11-year-old girl, and a 10-year-old girl. Yes, we had 4 kids in 59 months. My first child was born 1 month after my 24th birthday. My 4th child was born 2 days before my 29th birthday. We had them really close together. I have a great job. I get to come and I get to meet all sorts of different people like yourselves, and I get to talk about being successful and what it means to live a life of purpose and a life of success. I get to share the stage with great people like Rocky Blyer, and yesterday you heard from Bob Dole. I mean, it's terrific. I have great friends. I have great business associates. And 1 year ago, sort of the pinnacle of what's happened in the last year or so, is I used to drive down this road when I was growing up, out in a town called North Bend. Those of you who know North Bend, out in the Seattle area. It's where the film Twin Peaks was filmed, or the TV show Twin Peaks. You remember the show Twin Peaks? It was filmed in North Bend, Washington. I used to drive down this road, and there was this beautiful house on the right-hand side. It sits behind a gate. The gate's about 300 feet long. It's brick pillars with wrought iron. It's got lanterns across the pillars, and all you could see is the roof of the house. And I used to drive by it, and every time I drove by it, starting in 1983 when it was built, every time I drove by it, I said, I'm going to buy that house someday. Last October 6th, my wife and I and our 4 children moved into that house. 10 acres, 4,700 square feet in the main house, 600 square feet in the pool house. It's got a swimming pool, and the best thing about the whole thing is it's all completely timber out in the woods, and it's got 2,700 feet of riverfront. We see bear, coyotes at night. We hear them. We don't see them, thankfully. We have a little miniature dachshund, and we're afraid that we're going to lose him someday. We actually started naming him Cougar Food when we first moved in. And sometimes people say, isn't it great to live in that house? And it is great to live in that house. But I had a moment in my life when we had first moved in. It must have been spring. I was sitting up in my bedroom. We have a little sitting area in our bedroom, and I can oversee the whole backyard. And I saw my 4 kids playing volleyball out in the backyard. And I said, this is what this is all about. Is taking 4 little lives and giving them an opportunity to get a head start over the kind of start that I had. So that those 4 little lives can grow up in one home. Those 4 little lives can have 2 parents in the home who are going to help them, who are going to teach them, who are going to love them through everything. That's what it's all about. And I don't say that, as Tony Robbins would say, to impress you, but I say it to impress upon you. The fact that no matter where you are in life, no matter what kind of bad start you got, you can achieve the dreams that you desire, regardless of what those dreams are. I always wanted to be a public speaker. A number of years ago, I was going through a bunch of old boxes, and I was going through some books, and I found a book that I bought when I was 14 years old. It was called Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, How to Make a Living as a Public Speaker. And I thought, all these years later, it's what I'm actually doing. You can achieve anything that you want to if you learn the principles of success. I had a very interesting first few years out of college. I went to northern New Jersey. I like to tell people I did 3 years in Jersey. Not in the, is it the Rawa State Prison? Not in that state prison. But I did 3 years in a little town called Mendham. And I served on the board of a nonprofit organization. And on this board, I mean, I was sort of the token 22-year-old. On this board, I was sort of taken under the wing of a number of people who became both life and business mentors to me. The former CEO of Sealand, former quarterback in the NFL, the number 3 guy at Prudential Worldwide, and the gentleman who eventually became one of my biggest mentors and benefactors, who ended up as the CEO of Mars Candies, a $25 billion a year company. And all of a sudden I had people who could teach me what it meant to be successful in life. Because at age 22, I was only 5 years removed from all of the things that I had been involved in, and I'd never had anybody teach me what it means to be successful. What it means to live a successful life, not just financially, but emotionally and relationally, in business, in work, in family. And that's what I want to talk to you about for the remaining time together, is some of the lessons that I've learned both in my own personal life, but through observation and interaction with all sorts of successful people, professional athletes, political figures. I serve as an advisor to a number of different political figures. A gubernatorial candidate in our state last year, I served as his advisor. I've just been asked to serve as the advisor to a person who's running for the United States Senate in the state of Washington. And by observing and interacting with people who've lived tremendous lives, you can learn so much. So that's what we're going to do together today for the next little bit of time together. We're going to talk about what is it that makes a person successful. Whether you started out in a terrible situation and got involved in drugs and alcohol, or maybe you were raised in a great home but never really encouraged to strive and set goals and achieve great things. How do you get to the things that you want to get to? How do you live the life that you've always dreamed of? Because I know that sitting here today, there are people who are saying, I've got dreams of what I want to become. I've got dreams of what I want to do. I've got so much ambition that I want to fulfill. How do you do that? What does it take?